Hey, Israel Maya here with the 7 secrets of having an amazing birth. I'm so glad that you're with me, and I'm so happy to be sharing all this information with you, and I have a lot of information to share. So let's get started right away. Secret number 1, learn to relax quickly and deeply. You already know how important it is to be able to relax at any birth, but did you know that it's just as important to relax quickly and deeply? Whenever I give a seminar or whenever I talk to my clients, I ask them, how long does it usually take you to relax? They tell me 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Even 5 minutes is too long. You know, when you begin your birth, you'll begin contractions, and the other contraction, one after the other, will be about 5 or 10 minutes. They'll be light. But as the birth begins to progress, they'll be about 1 or 2 minutes apart. Now, do you see why even 5 minutes taking to relax is too long? You have to be able to relax within 1 minute. And I'll tell you what, you'll be able to achieve that relaxation with the Painless Childbirth course. Now, it's also important to be able to relax deeply. That's important because the more you relax your body, the easier it is for your baby to come into this world. Just think about it. Whenever a person gets a shot in the arm, when does it hurt less? Whenever you tense a muscle or when you relax it? You know, if you relax it and the person that's giving you the shot is really good, they'll say they're done, and you'll say, I didn't even feel you give me the shot. So the more you're able to relax at the birth, the better it's going to be. What does all this mean for you? A quicker and a better birth with much less pain. Secret number 2, focus on positive messages throughout your pregnancy. Let me ask you a question. How are you preparing to have your baby? Do you watch any shows that have pessimistic birthing scenes? How do they make you feel after you watch them? Are you reading magazines or are you reading books that tell you that natural birth is going to be a disaster because there's no drugs? This is not the right way to be preparing for your birth. Read anything that's positive. Watch birthing scenes that are positive. Go on YouTube or any website that has positive birthing scenes. Look at my website, painlessbirth.com. You'll see plenty of positive testimonials. That's a great way to be preparing your body and your mind for a great birth. Secret number 3, if you should ever feel yourself fearing the birth, do not entertain those thoughts. Break the state. Think about something else. Ever find yourself reading a good book, all of a sudden the phone rings, you answer the phone, you talk a little bit, you come back to the book, you can't get back into it. Or you ever find yourself in a really good and focused, concentrated conversation. All of a sudden somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I got to tell you about something. And you come back to the conversation and you say to yourself, what was I thinking about? What was I telling you before? You broke your state. That's what's called breaking the state. When you break the state, you kind of forget about what you were thinking of. Now you can use that to your advantage. Sometimes it works to our disadvantage, especially if we forget about a good conversation that we were in. But we can use that to our advantage when we're fearing something. And you especially, if you ever start fearing the birth because you saw something negative somewhere, break the state. Immediately think about, shift or focus your attention on something else. And what that's going to do is going to take you away from the fear, which will give you a much better birth. Secret number 4, use sleep time as a time to program your mind for a better birth. You know when you were in college or in high school and you said to yourself, I wish I can learn when I was sleeping? Well, guess what? You can. A lot of people, maybe even you did this, recorded words for themselves or some type of lecture or lesson for themselves, and they listened to it at nighttime. Now, it may have helped you, it may have not helped you, but this is an excellent time to read anything because as you are sleeping, you're still listening to things. Now, in the Painless Childbirth course, of course, we use this to our advantage, and I do have a special program that you will listen to while you sleep. But if you wanted to have a better birth, you can record something for yourself, a message perhaps for yourself, that you're going to have a better birth. Say it over and over again. Maybe you want to script it beforehand. Record it and put the play button right before you go to bed and go to sleep with that message. You see, it'll help you have a better birth. Secret number 5. Please, at all costs, avoid using negative words when it comes to referring to your birthing experience. You know, there's certain words called painted words that trigger off a negative response in your mind whenever you say them. Think about the word pain. The word pain is a very negative word. It has a red color associated to it or some type of deep color, or it has maybe even a sharp object associated to it. Do you know why? Because your experience with the word pain has usually been something that hurts. So even the word on its own can even cause something inside of you to feel kind of hurt. It feels strange. The word labor is another very negative word that very oftentimes it's used to refer to having contractions. Now, which one sounds better? Birthing, having contractions, or the word labor? It's a very, very negative word. Not only that, but sometimes they use the word hard labor to refer to birthing. Now, could you imagine that you're just about to give birth and somebody says to you, hey, you're in hard labor? That's horrible. That's a very negative way of thinking about birth. So you need to counteract that in your subconscious mind and start referring to giving birth as having contractions and refer to pain as discomfort. It's a lot better. Your subconscious mind takes it in a lot better and your body responds much more positively. Secret number 6, coordinate with your birth partner so that he or she can keep order while you're giving birth. Do you know what type of birth you're going to have? Are you going to have a natural birth in a birthing center? Are you going to have a natural birth in a hospital setting? Or have you decided to have drugs, epidural, some type of medication to help you with discomfort? That's very important to figure out before the birth, obviously. You don't want to get there and figure it out at that day or at that point. So if you've decided to have a natural birth in a hospital setting, what I'm going to tell you is especially pertinent. Coordinate with your birth partner. That way, if you've decided to have a natural birth, you can tell your birth partner and that person can tell the doctors, the nurses, or whoever it is that is coming in and helping you with your birth. Otherwise, they may just try to come in and tell you, listen, you don't have to have all this pain, we can give you a shot of something, and if you hear that and you have some discomfort, you don't feel really good, and your head's not in the right space, then you may just say yes when you really wanted to say no. So if you have somebody that you've told already, that person can tell the doctor, listen, my wife, my partner already wants to have a natural birth. Please do not ask her if she wants any medication or any drugs. And that way, the attention is off of you and on them. You can keep your focus on having that baby and you can have a better birth that way. Secret number 7, and the most important out of all the secrets that I've told you today. Okay, if you haven't walked away with most of the information, please make sure that you take this and file it away in your filing cabinet up here. This is very, very important. Now let me ask you a question before I tell you the secret. Were you ever in a school play? Did you ever dance, if you can dance? Did you ever get married? And what is it that you did before you did the school play, before any actor goes and does a movie or does a play, or before anybody does some type of dance or show? What do people do before they get married? They practice, they rehearse again and again and again. Not only physically, but mentally on how they're going to do this. Let me give you a quick story. Not too long ago, I had a cavity. Whoops. My friend, which is a dentist, took a look at me and says, look, I cannot do the cavity today. I can do it next week. But, you know, you'll have to decide then if you want or you don't want Novocaine. Now, I'm not a person for any type of medication. I do not like medication. Now, of course, I know it's necessary when it's important, when it's needed, but I personally do not like any medication at all. So came the day that I'm going to have my filling, and throughout the week I was practicing to myself, Israel, all you're going to use is your self-hypnosis, and you're not going to have any discomfort at all. I closed my eyes and I imagined it again and again and again, and I got there and I said to the dentist, which is my friend, I said to him, is this going to hurt? I mean, is it going to be bad? And he says, listen, if I touch it a little bit, it'll hurt a little bit. If I touch it a lot, it's going to hurt a lot. So I imagined that in his mind, and he said to me, I think you're crazy for not using any Novocaine, but you know, it's up to you. I said, look, let me just try without any Novocaine. My son was there next to me, and he did the filling. It hurt a little bit uncomfortable, but got through the filling, no pain medication. My son said to me, Daddy, he took away half of your tooth. I said, oh my God, that must have been a pretty big cavity. Now, because I practiced on how that filling was going to go throughout the entire week, my mind and my body reacted that way. This is very important. Practice how you're going to have your birth before you have your baby. That's secret number 7. Practice how you're going to have your birth before you have your baby. This is the success that the women get from the Painless Childbirth course. Now, what does it do? Physically, it prepares your body. Mentally, psychologically, emotionally, you get prepared. Why? Because you're directing your mind. What do people usually do? They go on automatic. And whenever they go somewhere, they just leave things to whatever's going to happen. When you prepare yourself mentally, you drive your mind to what you want to do. So you definitely want to drive your mind at the day of the birth. You want to imagine yourself a little bit at a time, and of course, in the painless childbirth course, we do this and you practice this, and I show you exactly how it's going to be done. So you practice and rehearse in your mind on how everything is going to go, and you're going to have a beautiful and an amazing birth. Well, we've reached the end to the 7 secrets to having an amazing birth. I am so happy to have shared this information with you and so excited to be working with you in the near future. We're going to learn so many things, so get ready. One of the first things we're going to learn is how women get programmed into having a bad birth. Now, it begins at birth and it gets reinforced throughout your life, either with stories from family, stories from your mom, stories from your friends that are having babies, things that you read in books, that you see in movies, etc., etc. All these things program your mind to having a bad birth. I'm going to teach you how to take all that stuff out of your head and give you enough positive suggestions so you can have a much better birth. Another thing I'm going to teach you is how to go into a quick and deep relaxation with the painless childbirth course. You're going to be able to do this within 30 seconds. Now, most women that I work with, 20 seconds and they're in a quick and deep relaxation. They're completely alert, they're completely aware, and their body is relaxed and so is their mind. I'll teach you how to do this with eyes closed at the beginning, and then I'll teach you how to do it with eyes open so that you do not break your state. I'm also going to teach you 2 very, very important things. Number 1, I'm going to teach you how to take care of the fear. There is a lot of fear when it comes to birthing. I work with somebody, a cousin of mine, that was working on her 8th baby when she came to my class, and I said to her, "Why are you taking my class? You've already done this many times before. You shouldn't be scared." She said, "Listen, every time it gets worse, Israel, please work with me. Do something for me." I worked with her. She took the painless childbirth course. She learned the techniques beautifully. Listen to this success story. She went to sleep, woke up with contractions, fell back asleep, woke up with the contractions. 45 minutes later, she had her baby. She had a beautiful baby boy. Her daughter called me up personally and she said, "Israel, thank you so much for helping my mom. I hated to see her in all that pain, and I'm so happy to have worked with her." You're going to have a success story like this, similar to this. You're going to pick up the phone one day and call me, and you're going to send me an email and say, "Israel, I had a wonderful birth, and it's not too far away, not difficult at all to do with the painless childbirth course." Also, I'm going to teach you how to control the discomfort with your mind. We all have this ability. You have this ability already. I'll prove it to you. Ever been so focused on something, so hurried up, so nervous about something that you accidentally get hurt, maybe you bump your leg or your arm, didn't even have a chance to say ouch, and a couple days later, what do you see? A bruise on your arm, a bruise on your leg. What do you say to yourself? How'd that get there? Right? You were so focused on something else that your mind was taken away from any of the discomfort. You already have this ability, and I'm going to teach you how to bring it out and how to enhance it. Well, it's the end of the secrets, of the 7 secrets to having an amazing birth. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. It's such a pleasure to work with you, and I really look forward to working with you again. One more thing. If you ever have a question, either on the stuff that you learn up to this point or any of the stuff in the painless childbirth course, please pick up the phone and call me. I'm only 10 numbers away. Okay, if you're in another country, then maybe more numbers. But I'm only 10 numbers away. Pick up the phone. I will personally talk to you, and I look forward to speaking to you and hearing your success stories soon.